Hey, welcome in everyone to DomTime. Kind of an unusual DomTime tonight. My idea was with some of the best shows in TV, The Office being one of them, and my guest tonight is not even a fan, and my probably top 3 show of all time, Breaking Bad, recent entry to it, going off, ending their season, and a number that are in tradition. It'd be a great night to talk about TV, some of the shows that we love, some of the things that are going on with TV, and nobody better to do it that we can find in the Delaware Valley than Neil Zorn. Neil is the TV columnist for the Delco Times. Read him at delcotimes.com. And Neil, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Good seeing you.
Well, I'll get to the Office stuff. I put a big check next there because I want to start on something positive. We just have seen the Emmy nominations.
Right.
I am a fan of House of Cards, but for Netflix to break through in the Emmy nominations, this is really revolutionary stuff. And there's a number of things going on with TV that have suddenly grown up with us that I don't know how the TV producers and the others like I just do the show. I don't know how they disseminated it so people can't be flicking through commercials or doing whatever. Talk about the Netflix breakthrough of that.
Netflix breakthrough is great because it just is another producer that can come through and
Right.
have something, and it also makes things more accessible to the public, which is also the important thing. Because if you look at the Emmy nominations, what you'll see is how many of them, especially in the drama category, come from cable.
Yes,
So
that's the other breakthrough.
Right. Well, that's breakthrough has been for a long time because of Breaking Bad, because of Mad Men, because of The Sopranos originally.
I'll tell you a theory, and some of the numbers
broke through.
break it off because they can do things in cable. They can be more creative. The language can be different, et cetera. Most of the shows on TV that are drama, I couldn't pick them out in a lineup, but they're geared toward women. My wife watches The Good Wife,
Right.
Unforgettable, et cetera. I
stuff
like
that's
the woman
over
in
the air.
Unforgettable, and I like the woman in Good Wife beyond belief, but I couldn't tell you most of these series that are on TV. Who's watching them on network TV?
People, you have it right. It's women.
Yeah.
Because cable does appeal to the male audience, and cable does appeal to the person who is flicking through and needs to be stopped. Because
Exactly.
it's more of it's an odd demographic, and it's odd to say, but a woman will make an appointment to watch a television program faster than a man will. Where a man will sit there and watch every television program in a minute. He'll have 1,000 stations. You'll have clicked 1,000 times. You won't have lost a beat between.
Right. And binge
seeing
watching, I want to talk about. I think that's more male oriented.
Well,
my son and I binge watch Breaking Bad.
So you buy the sets and just sit and watch everything at once. Yeah.
Netflix is great. Just go right through Netflix. And I bet over a couple weekends we went through almost the whole seasons of Breaking Bad, then went back the second time around to watch them.
Right. I did Downton Abbey that way. I had to catch up with Downton Abbey.
Okay.
I just went right into. I did Hulu, but the same thing, and went in and watched it all. Yes, but that's good. Everything is kept. Everything is sort of portable now because you can watch it anywhere. It used to be you had to make that appointment because you had 3 networks. You didn't have DVRs. You didn't have phones. You didn't have Hulu. You didn't have Netflix, and you had to be at the television at the time it was on. Now a lot of people watch things, and that does skew the ratings a little bit because people watch things when they're not on.
Right.
So if you're watching something at one time and taping something at one time, the tape doesn't necessarily get the ratings credit.
The only downside of this, and you strike me, you might get this, and might be a guy, and I don't know how many people watching will. I'm a big shared type of thing. Like we all saw the OJ verdict. We all saw the JFK days. We don't have any of that. I don't know the last big event that we all watched in real time together pretty much.
Wow.
And I'm a big believer that binds us together. We all talk about it the next day together. Now with this, it's off into these little tribes and narrow casting, et cetera. And I have guys on set that don't even like The Office.
There you go.
Exactly.
I know one of them. But no, the thing with that is that, again, you could only watch one place. Now you have every place. But I bet when the baby was born, when the royal baby was born, that a lot of people were riveted to their television, and that was sort of a shared event internationally. I'm sure that with the Trayvon Martin case, or the George Zimmerman case, however you want to call it, the verdict.
But we didn't have any advance, not enough rollout of the thing.
I didn't have anybody just watching like watched in 1969 to see the moon launch or something like that. You're right. But we do share, as a matter of fact, because of all these devices, we might not share simultaneously, but everybody's attuned to everything. You really feel like you're out of it when everybody knows something and you don't. And then out comes the phone and you're putting in
I'm watching you and you're forcing me to backpedal here on a little. I was going to share this tonight. I did actually say in the air, as big of a Seinfeld fan as I was, at one point I thought The Office had beaten Seinfeld.
Aha.
Now I think I'm going to have to backpedal a little bit Because it was not so great the last 6 months, the last year of it. But I do think, I can't imagine how you wouldn't like The Office.
Well, I can tell you. You
never worked in an office.
Actually, I did. I have worked in offices, and the things that you see happen. But I thought that they got more and more contrived. The problem with a show like The Office, or even a show like Breaking Bad, and the reason they go off the air is there comes a point where you just cannot keep the plot going. I'm afraid of that with Big Bang Theory and some other shows. And, How I Met My Mother is obviously going into its last season. How I Met Your Mother, actually. How you meet your own mother is easy, and same thing with 2.5 Men. How much shelf life does that have?
Why? Because you're set in this one little locale, and when they take it out, they run out of stuff.
And also, in some of those cases, not Breaking Bad, but in The Office, even though they had a lot of characters and a lot of situations, they really sort of exhausted them. You sort of saw them pushing for them, and they became more and more
outlandish.
Outlandish, exactly.
Particularly the Dwight character. They
exactly.
just had to keep on going more and more.
Because he had to be the character without Carol there.
It became a character. I expected Chris Matthews to come out in a minute, speaking of caricatures. Now, you are a fan. Let's talk about some of the others I never got into, but if you give me the recommendation, I will give it a shot the next time we meet. Dexter. Not that I have anything against it, but I never was a big Dexter guy, which is coming to an end.
Dexter is popular because it's witty. Dexter is fun because even though who wants to see a serial killer and a killer for hire, although we love them. We love reading about Gabriel Allon in Daniel Silva books. We like reading about serial killers. We all love
sure, he's a serial
all
killer,
love
sure.
Seven. But Dexter only kills the people who deserve it. Now,
right.
In a politically correct world, who deserves it? The idea of killing somebody, we can't even keep them forever in Guantanamo, let alone anything like that. I mean, so you can imagine the furor would be if there was a real Dexter around. But he's so clever about it, and he's so charming about it, even though he's rough-grained. And the people he's going after deserve to have what's happening. They're not going to get justice any other way. So I think it's the wit of the show. I think it is the sort of nonchalant way of saying, hey, you know what? There's another type of justice. Now, if it was done in real life, we'd have people coming out with the pitchforks and the fires.
I'll tell you what I want to ask Neil Zorin coming up, because I have to work long and hard. I need a long shelf life. This is like Breaking Up. Once Breaking Bad goes away, which is my #1 go-to now, I'll have to replace it with something.
Okay.
So I always ask on the air, what are the replacements? So hold that thought. We'll see it at home if you have a replacement. If you're into Breaking Bad and it's Gaga. The Office I haven't replaced. It kind of replaced itself the last 6 months. Not as good as Seinfeld. I take it back. All right, we'll talk more with TV critic Neil Zorin as we get into the really good stuff starting to come our way, even in August. Straight ahead on DomTime.